Welcome to Chaos Divided, your weekly dose of WholesomeHammer, where we explore the hobby, the game, and the lore of Warhammer 40k. We're your hosts, Snurgle and BlushingNoiseMarine. This week we're sharing some of our favorite stories from Warhammer. And this week's quote is, "It is the story of a man who did insane things because he put it in practice what many saints have preached." This is from Dolan Kairos. We practiced the name before we went. Oh no. Okay, Kairosius. Oh man. For the second edition Battle of Sisters of Battle Codex.
I can't have you with Sisters of Battle. That's on you.
Butchered that so badly. This will be a story for the ages.
Well, I think we can't get started without saying a very happy birthday.
I'm gonna go pink.
Snurgle.
I'm gonna go pink.
You're the blushing Snurgle today.
Yeah.
So happy birthday, Nurgle.
Oh, thank
Snurgle.
you. Thank you. It's not today, but it will be the day that this goes live.
Well, yeah, that was part of the editing movie magic. That's that Hollywood sparkle we have.
Yeah.
They didn't need to know that we don't record these day of.
No. And I'll do a little bit of a spoiler as well. I'm not in studio at the moment. I'll be in mini wargaming. So if you wish me a happy birthday and I don't get back to you right away, it's because I'm really, really busy. And yes, maybe celebrating a little bit of Nurgle at the time.
Ooh, celebrating some Nurgle at the bunker.
Yes.
Sounds like a pretty good way to spend a birthday.
Right? I'm gonna wake up today and just be like, wow.
We're getting our timelines mixed up now. But no, I'm very happy for you and I'm very excited to hear all about your trip. So
thank you. I'm sure if you look at my stories right now, if you are on your phone, you can look at my stories right now. You'll probably see a lot of bunker photos. If you guys aren't familiar, Mini Wargaming have like their own studio, bunker, Airbnb, studio type of thing building. We've been there once before and it's absolutely wonderful. It's breathtaking. That's one of the stories I can share later on.
There we go. So this is we're calling this a Snurgly Storytime because for your birthday episode, you said you wanted to do a little fireside chat, a little story time.
Yes, I figured I just want to sit back, chill, chat with you, and just share some great stories. Because last week we went on a couple sidebars, and I know that we like to go on tangents, and our bonus episode was definitely a little bit of a tangent-esque, non-planned type of episode, and that was a lot of fun. And so let's do it again.
So we're going on the SS side barge this time, where we're just setting sail for sidebars. Beep beep.
I guess that's not really a good.
That's a pretty weak boat horde.
It's a dinghy.
That's an excuse me. That's not a get out of it. That is how the Halifax explosion happened, was horns that sounded like that. Just a little meep beep.
I make the worst sound effects. Don't ask me about my pew pew noises.
I don't know. Is that why you don't play a shooting army, so you don't have to make
exactly?
Pew pew noises?
I don't want to get embarrassed at the table.
Okay, actually, you know what? I have a question for the listeners at home. Because when I first started Warhammer, the sound that a las cannon made was freem. And that's what people talked about when people would say, oh, las cannons go freem. And I have not heard that since I came back. And I'm curious where did it
go?
Right?
Las cannons?
Las cannons go freem.
Freem.
They go freem. Yeah.
So is it like a beam? I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's a laser. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a laser cannon. Cannon.
Maybe it was forgotten and you just not triggered, but you just kind of you just open that up for everybody and hopefully we can start it up again.
Yeah, so that's one of the. We're starting about talking about stories. Last cannons used to go Freem, and now I don't know what sound they make. So in my heart, they go Freem. I don't know in your heart.
And then last week, I found out that railguns are silent.
Yeah.
Completely, like owl silent.
Well, there might be some like energy discharging noises, but no, the shell goes faster than the speed of sound, so you don't hear it before it hits you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is there an actual bullet?
Yeah, it's like a slug.
I don't know this. I don't know if it's energy. I don't know if like it's.
No, it is a gun.
Okay.
It shoots like a solid projectile. Just like at like near, like it's like sub-light speeds.
Okay.
So like super fast. Like you could shoot. I think you actually could, with like a hammerhead, could shoot a spaceship in orbit, and there would be enough energy for it to like get out of the atmosphere
and stay the same speed and distance.
Well, no, because going through the atmosphere would slow it down.
Yeah.
But I think it has enough energy to like get into. I mean, it wouldn't do anything. It would have lost so much velocity by that point that it would just like plink off. It'd be pointless. But I think there is enough like oomph behind them.
I know this is story time, but I have so many questions.
Railguns are cool. Railguns are like the coolest gun in the game. And I don't care if Squat's got railguns too. Tau have cooler railguns.
Scouts got railguns?
Squat's got railguns.
Oh, squats. Oh.
Yeah. I mean, Pathfinders also have rail rifles. That's a thing. They're scouts. They're little scouty boys and girls. And folks. I don't know.
So what makes it a rail gun?
So, well, there's railguns now. Like, the American military has railguns.
What?
Yeah. Like a real weapon.
Oh.
You basically use magnets to, like, force a projectile to go, like, super fast. So instead of using, like, an explosion, you use magnets. So that when it's fired out, it has so much kinetic energy in it that it doesn't need an explosive. Like a missile has an explosive at the end. That's what does a lot of the damage.
Yes.
With a railgun, the slug itself is going so fast that when it hits something,
it'll just pierce right through.
There's just so much energy, it either pierces through or like shatters or explodes, depending on like how you structure the slug itself.
Oh, cool.
Like at this point, it's
so if you make it more blunt, it's gonna like shatter and break, or
yeah, I mean, it depends on like the size and like what you're shooting it at, and like. But yeah.
See, I know nothing about guns. I know nothing about.
This is why I play demons.
Yes, like again, teeth and claws, and I guess Bellacor's pointy finger, lightning.
Okay, editing that episode, you're. It took a while to explain how Bellacor's like psychic power works.
I was listening to myself be so lost, and I'm like, I still could like help myself follow through. Something about a shadow and magic guns. Don't know.
So what is your?
No. I ask you.
I started.
What is your favorite memory?
Oh my goodness. My favorite memory of Warhammer. I actually remember the first time I built and painted miniatures as like a 16-year-old.
Okay.
And that was, I remember being both very discouraged because all my friends were much better painters than I was. But also very excited. And I remember being so excited to play. And I do actually remember that first game. So it's maybe not like one coherent, like specific memory, but just like I do remember that like we're going back like 15 years ago now. And I remember that like sheer excitement to like play this game. And
did you paint your models before you played it? Like full?
Not all of them, no.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we were. There was a few of us that were like definitely more on the playing side of it, and there was a few that were more on the painting side.
Did you play in a store, or did you play at home?
We played some good old-fashioned floor hammer.
Always
floor hammer. No, the like back then so I grew up in the city. There was no game store in Dartmouth where I grew up. and the only store you could really play out of at the time was Games Workshop itself, which was super annoying to get to. It was like an hour on the bus kind of thing. Like it was like a pain.
If you don't know, HRM has like the worst transit in at least Canada. Like
it's pretty rough.
God awful here.
So yeah, I don't think I ever played a game I've never played a game at Games Workshop here. Like ever. It's just
ever.
Like, no. It like never worked out, never made sense. And like, yeah, they didn't used to run a lot of events. And if they did, it was like super difficult to get to. And yeah. So yeah, we mostly played like on the floor, or if we were at somebody's house, they had like a big enough kitchen table, but that's back when tables were 6x4. So like that never happened.
Thank God they shortened that. Like it makes a difference. But it makes a difference, though.
Games used to be... So, the thing that I was excited to talk about 10th for a second, I thought 10th was maybe going back to, like, 5th edition and earlier, like, toughness, and it did not. It was not uncommon to have a tank last to turn 5. Like, it was not, like, it was difficult to, like, kill a unit. That was, like, not a super common thing. So like it was a much hardier time, so the bigger table made more sense because you like would take longer to get to objectives. They also like the objectives were like way simpler back then. Like like 10th edition's like open war is like closer to what older missions used to be like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there wasn't like secondaries. There was no stratagems. There wasn't that level of depth to it in like those ways. There was a lot of war gear, so like units were very like customizable. Writing a Tau list with crisis suits used to be, because crisis suits were like the most customizable model out there. Fun fact, you used to have to give war gear for... So crisis suits were one of the only models in the game that could split fire.
They had a rule?
Yeah, they had a piece of war gear that you could give them that allowed them to shoot at more than one unit. So back then, one unit could only shoot at another unit.
No way.
And the whole unit would shoot at that one other unit.
Do you think that added to the toughness and like the durability?
Well, you would have to bring like, you would have to bring anti-infantry and you'd have to bring anti-tank. That's why like crisis suits were multi-function, because they could split fire. So you could put like, that's actually what the multi-tracker was it allowed them to split fire. So if you put like the burst cannon and the fusion blaster on them, so the melt-a-gun, they could shoot at infantry and a tank.
When did split fire come in?
I don't know. I don't know if it was in there. 6th or 7th. But I know in 5th it wasn't a thing.
I've heard that that's an important thing to know, is how to split fire and what to split fire into.
Well, that's what, like, playing Tau, that was a huge thing, because you could. Like, you were one of the only armies that could split fire. I think vehicles might have been able to split fire, but I don't think, like, infantry could. So, yeah.
Makes sense. Like, you are, as a group, going to work together. You put it
and that was kind of the like argument was like, in a battle, like coordinating shooting at multiple things would have been like nonsense.
Like that's almost too much communication.
Yeah. Like, if you had somebody being like, you shoot there, you shoot over here, you shoot at that thing way over there, you shoot at that thing at the back, like, no, you're just dead.
Yeah, like by the time you get to the end of the list, it's like, we're dead.
Yeah, like I think even the like lower description of the multi-trackers, it tracked different enemy movements so that like the pilot of the battle suit could like focus on multiple moving enemies at the same time. Yeah.
So it had that ability to do it. So
yeah, that's what the war gear is. But that would be like in exchange for like having, say, a shield generator for an invuln save. Like, it was like on that level of like intensity.
Could you imagine the uproar if GW took away Splitfire?
Well, at this point, no, I don't think you could like too many like.
I think it would be an uproar.
It would be an uproar because, like, if you think about like the way squads are built now is so different than you used to.
Mm-hmm.
Like you think of like I still build my units fairly like single purposely, like with Emperor's Children, because that's kind of maybe that's a remnant of like how I learned the game. But it's like, you know, in my mind, if something is anti-vehicle, it's anti-vehicle. If it's anti-infantry or anti-elite, like that's how you build it. So like, yeah, I don't think everyone has that plan, and so they would really struggle with the like, okay, this squad has this like rocket launcher and las cannon, but then is mostly like, you know, bolters or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got to choose.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah. But yeah, I guess favorite memory. I don't know.
Just from the beginning, the big bang of it all.
You know, I guess that was really exciting. I don't know if it's my favorite memory though. I think I also think of like the first few games of like 9th when I came back were also very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I guess like beginnings are exciting.
Yes.
Playing a new faction is always exciting. Yeah, I don't know. I generally am just excited to play Warhammer.
Yep.
How about you? What's your favorite?
My favorite memory?
Yes, your favorite memory.
My most favorite memory of
the one that you have only ever talked to Snurgle about.
I have it in the vault.
Yeah.
Okay, so
in the Chaos Divided vault that we definitely have.
Okay, so this is definitely my most favorite memory. So it was my birthday coming up, and I wanted to do something special. And so I thought of the idea to do a Snurgathon and this was on Ras Reach. And I wanted to do something really silly, just like a full day of just gaming several opponents. And it was the first time we ever did like, if you gave bits, something would happen, and if you donated, because I originally wanted a charity that I reached out to my dentist, and they didn't get back to me till like the day of, unfortunately. But anyways, so it was my second opponent. I didn't know who it was, and it was a surprise, and I wanted to do something really special. And so I put on a flowery dress, and I kind of made it out to be like, oh, you'll never see a Warhammer player in a dress before, so here you go. And I felt like it was really hot too, like it's summer, right? It's August, so it was perfect. I think I want to play more in dresses than pants. But anyways, and I'm ready to play, and in walks Josh from the deck box, and he was my opponent. He is the owner of the deck box, and I just like was just floored. I didn't know who my opponent was. Would never have guessed that. That is not the part of the memory that I love. The what I love the most was there was this little kid that was there, and he loved the show. He kind of stuck around sometimes, and I love kids. I love seeing how excited they are about Warhammer. I think that is like the purest of all joy. And so he comes in and we're live, and I'm showing him like how to roll dice, and I just had this idea to like put him on my shoulders. So I was like, you want to get on my back? And he's like, yeah. So I put him on my back, and we had a TV on the side so we could see what the screen looks like. And he's looking at the screen, and he's looking at himself, and he's like, he's admiring how he looks on screen. And we have balloons above us, and he's like poking the balloons. And at this point, he's like, I think he was 4, 5 years old, like not even kindergarten, but he's really into Mario at the time. And I turned to him and I was like, I'm your Luigi, or not, I'm your Yoshi. And he was so excited. He goes, Yahoo! Yahoo! And
Aww.
I had him, and he was rolling dice for me. And it was just such a joy that I'm playing this game that I've been playing for a while, but I was able to really make this memory of just, like I said, pure, absolute joy. And to me, like, that just radiates so much happiness, and that's definitely a big memory of mine. It's probably my favorite. If I could, I would probably, like, I cannot wait until I'm a mother and I have my own child, and I'll just have them on my back or holding them, and I'll roll the dice. There used to be this joke when I was on Rast Reach that I was the war mother, so I'm excited for that in the future.
Aww.
Yeah, so that's one of my favorite memories.
Well, speaking of children, you might hear my my kiddo in the background screaming. It is bedtime.
Start playing some Warhammer.
She's only 9 months old. It's a little early. But actually, talking to one of the guys locally, he has 2 young kids, and one of them has already started painting some miniatures, and I was a little jealous of him. So
yours is coming.
I know.
And then you're gonna build those memories with her.
I know.
And then you'll tell when we do this type of episode again. You'll share those memories.
Snurgle committing to a 5 to 6 year contract here. So
oh, what?
I'll hold it.
Why is there a prick on my finger? Why am I bleeding? Why did I sign in blood?
This is chaos divided. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not order divided. You gotta have a little bit of gothic action going on here. But that's super cute. That's really nice. Now that begs the question: when is the next Snurgathon?
I don't know. It was a kind of a one-time deal. Obviously for like my birthday, and in that studio, in that hot garage, I was not going to be up to doing another 12 to 15 hour day, because if you haven't caught us on Rast Reach with the Chaos Divided game, it was hot.
It was a little smoky in there. It was a little sauna-y.
Only in where the players are supposed to stand.
No, the whole place was really hot.
It was hot, but like that was the hot.
There. Yeah, it's the worst spot.
I'm gonna work on a video where it's just clipped of me and you, just like, God, it's hot. You actually were really great at it. Like, actually, I had on my notes that that game is very memorable as well. I will bank that forever. So we can talk about that game. But
that was you know what? Honestly, that was a big thing for me. Like when I came back to Warhammer, kind of before I'd started playing again. Rast Reach was kind of a big thing that I watched to kind of like.
Oh wow.
And I think I've told you this before, but I don't know if I've said it on the podcast. But there was a game that you played with someone else, and it was kind of the like impetus to sign up for that first GT that I played.
Ooh.
So
who did I play?
I can't. The guy that wears the Lucha Libre mask.
Oh, I won't say his name because he would like to remain anonymous. But yes. Oh, what was his? Yes.
I can't remember like what his nickname was on it.
Was he playing Sisters? Yes, he was. He was playing Sisters.
So
I remember that game.
Yeah.
And he was so hot in that. I felt so bad.
But yeah, so like playing on Ras Reach was kind of one of those like bucket list moments.
And
of
you
like,
did it.
I did it, and it was honestly like one of those just like really cool moments, and I was really glad it was the two of us doing it, even though it was hotter than Korn's friggin' battlefields.
Corn's asshole.
Well, I wasn't gonna go that far.
Bleep. But
saying it afterwards doesn't bleep it. That's all editing.
That way? Oh
no.
But what I was gonna say is you were such a great sport with it, because like I was dying, and I looked at you, and you were pretty stoic. I was like, how is she not affected like this? Like, I look like a baby, and I've done this before. You were a pro at it.
I'm built for suffering. I like to make the joke that I come from very long lines of peasants, so I'm toil and suffering is in my genetics.
Especially when it comes to heat.
Well, not usually, but that was like I don't know. I feel like it's like because you're also on when you're doing that too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like it's like, I didn't want the show to be about just like how warm we are. Like I wanted it to be about like the game and how much fun we were having, and like, try to be professional about it. tried to hold it together for the audience, but
like when you get to that point in heat, it's like you almost go through euphoria. Like you're like, I'm gonna start hallucinating. What am I doing? Oh, there's a great unclean one on my head.
You know what? I remember that, and you were like cool as a cucumber, just like, I'm doing this, and then you were committed. You were in the zone.
Oh,
I don't think that was an act of delusion. I think that was an act of pure comedic insight. Maybe
I stepped into another realm.
You were just like, no, this is going to be funny, and you did it.
I did. I was like, watch this, guys.
And the yelps of terror that Tyler was giving
the clowns
were very memorable. And yeah, we got to do that for charity, and that was honestly that was a ton of fun. Yeah, no, I would love to do a little bit more like battle report stuff in the future.
Yeah,
I think that's that was cool and very different. Like I've Tyler with Basement Wargaming, I've been on that channel before, but like the way he films in that is very like it's more just about the battle report.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not super like participatory in the same way that was. So no, that was a ton of fun.
We got to do it again.
Maybe not in summertime.
And not winter. I can't do winter.
I'd rather freeze than sweat.
I'd rather sweat than freeze.
So yeah, no, we'll definitely figure out a way to do it. Maybe someday down the road there'll be a Chaos Divided report that we'll figure that out sometime.
Yeah. Da-da-da. Stay tuned.
We'll somehow figure that out.
What has been like? Okay, I can start it, and then I'm going to ask the question. Like a scary, anxious moment, I guess, in your memory. And I'll go first, and then you can think about it, because it's kind of like a weird thing to kind of. Okay, so this is like, I think will connect with a lot of people in the audience, but the worst sound you could ever hear at an RTT or a GT is the sound of models hitting the floor. I remember I went to an RTT out in the valley, and somebody put their army on a tray, on a chair, and somebody walked by and act like all an accident.
Oh, it wasn't even them that did it. Oh.
It wasn't them.
Oh.
And it knocked it. And I remember just hearing the crash. I can only imagine, like, everyone's feeling it right now. But that sound, my heart broke in two, like, immediately. It's Luckily, we found all the pieces and all that, but that is probably the worst sound you'll ever hear.
It's too much like breaking glass.
Yeah.
Like, it's plastic, and you know it's plastic, but it somehow sounds like glass shattering. It's
Yep.
yeah, it's a sound. That's a rough one. Oof. I'm just gonna sit in that one for a second. I don't think I have anything that's that terrifying.
Have you ever heard that before?
Yeah, most of my own models though. So
Oh,
I am not kind to my own models. That's I recently discovered that my Lucius doesn't have a backpack.
Lucius, can you hear me? If you are being abused in the BlushingNoiseMarine household, blink 6 times.
It's okay because they're Emperor's children; they're into it. But
he's blinking really seductively. Wink.
He's like
a wink, a wink.
But yeah, maybe not like I don't just needlessly throw them on the ground, but it's that like I'm not the kindest to them. Mm-hmm. But they also, they look like crap. So when they're done well, I treat them well.
I don't treat my models well.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. No, I do not.
I've seen you like
got it.
Gently like ease them into the like package.
Barely.
And just like, oh no, here you go.
No, like I will tell you, I'm like the worst packer. Did you not see me during that GT where I played Chaos Undivided with horrors and bloodletters and plague bears? I had containers where I just threw them in. I was like,
yeah, but you probably like enameled them and like.
No.
Okay, never mind then. I don't know. You should never play Gene Stealer cults then. You'll just like break all your own models.
But that's actually a pretty good idea to like give them a coating.
Ugh, it sounds so annoying though. It's like one of those like, oh yeah, that sounds like a great idea for someone else to do.
Mm-hmm. I feel like Gene Stealers is just like you put them down and then you pick them back up.
Well, especially now, that's literally how they play.
I don't like that type of play.
You know what? I think demons should be able to do that a little bit.
Yes, but like, I love playing a horde army, but competing with a horde army is...
No, I mean, being able to like reinforce. Like, I feel like, even if it was just like once per round stratagem something, or like make a 2 CP or something that you can like bring back a battle line squad or something.
Bring it back? Is that what they can do? Like from death?
Gene Stealer cults, just like when you destroy them, they go back into strategic reserve.
What?
Yeah, their battle line. Everything else you roll to see if it goes back on the table. But their battle line, you don't even roll. They just come back.
Aren't they mostly battle line, anyways?
Well, why? Yeah, that's how you would play them because they don't actually die. Like the best way to actually kill them is to not kill them and leave them with like one model.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So that's how. Okay.
Yeah.
That's how they're being taught.
Yeah, because if you wipe the squad, which is super easy to do, they just come back the next turn. And I think Guard have a strat to do it. But I could see. I feel like it'd be very demons to be able to do that. Like I said, even if it was a 2 CP strat or something, to just be like, oh, those bloodletters that were gone. Actually, no.
I would love that.
No, surprise, more bloodletters. Surprise, more demonettes.
GW, listen.
It's going to the whippers. I explained to my wife who James Workshop was yesterday. She was like,
okay, how do you... Okay, does she know much about Warhammer?
Not really.
Okay, so how did you explain it to her?
I showed her a YouTube video, which actually I had never watched before. Did you know that there's an apology?
Yes, before the Votan one, where he's like in this suit, and then he's there's maybe a fireplace behind him.
Yeah, I watched that for the first time yesterday.
I saw that at Mini Wargaming because we were there the week they dropped the Votan
nerf
FAQ, and I watched it with the Mountain, and he just roared. Like, this is just like in the more like, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
I can't, but like, because he's like an actor, right? Like, they paid that guy to come in to just like do that, and like, I don't know what was on the lines. It was like, it was
like, we need you to be the most snarky, like, thing ever. Wow, and they thought that was gonna save face. Yeah.
I mean,
it did become memeable. Like, everybody did know who James' workshop was.
Well, I didn't, but
afterwards he did, though.
Well, I watched it yesterday. I've seen him in other things. I'd never seen the Votan thing.
Oh.
What was one of the lines? They're like, "Oh, just get them all 2-up invuln saves." No, I don't know what that means. I was like, that's so good.
I feel like they know exactly what they're doing. Exactly what they're doing. Like, back when like the Chaos Space Marines got released and they showed, oh, guess what? 2 wounds. Wink, wink.
Year of Chaos.
Yeah. Oh my god, that will never, ever feel right.
Actually, talking about Chaos getting one of our listener comments on an episode recently was after your rant about Be'lakor not having all of the marks.
Mm-hmm.
And it was "You Be'lakor Smellakor," and I quite like that.
What? I didn't hear this.
Did I not tell you about that?
No.
Apparently not.
They called me? Like...
No, they called Be'lakor Smellakor.
Yeah. I feel like a schoolyard.
It was a great episode. Love your thoughts on everything. Playing Necrons now feels very Necron-y, lore-wise. Be'lakor Smellakor.
Ouch. Oh my god. And then,
thank you for the thank you for the feedback.
I'm gonna put that on a shirt.
Be'lakor Smellakor. You should.
Pew-wee.
Shadow of Chaos is just his BO.
Some more stories. How about...
Well, I didn't give my anxiety story.
Oh, you didn't?
No, yes. You asked me the question and then said, I'm going to tell a story.
Yeah, I thought you said you couldn't.
I said I couldn't compete with it. I didn't say that.
There's no competition.
I think, so my second tournament I played was Morgs last year, which I know you were at.
Yes.
And my very first game was against Jonathan.
Oh my. Oh. First. Oh.
Yeah.
Did you just go GG, I'll see you at lunch?
I was like, it was like GG, but we'll play it out anyways. Of course, and I think I scored like 15 points. I think the only thing I did is I denied him a perfect game. That was my crowning achievement.
For those who do not know, this mysterious Jonathan fellow you keep hearing about, he is top notch in this community. He will get those hundreds. He's usually winning these tournaments. You may have seen him even through Tactical Tortoise's tournaments that he holds for TTS. So he is balling. He's got every single codex in his brain. I don't know how he does it.
It's frightening. Actually, honestly, the only times I've played well against him is if I play so erratically, he doesn't expect what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you almost have to make mistakes because he's not prepared for your the mistakes you. He's
like, you're not supposed to do that. It's like, oh, like, no.
It's because it's like, he's one of those players that like knows how to pilot your army better than you know how to pilot it.
Yeah, I got paired with him once, and I was like, maybe I got a chance. And we're just playing, and he's very, very pleasant, and just letting me do what I think I should do. And it was just like, oh, I'm gonna get steamrolled real fast here.
You just watch yourself, like, all of your mistakes be noticed.
But he plays Eldar, and he has always played like Eldar and Harlequins, and he just gets lucky with, like, they're always top. So I don't know, maybe he knows James' workshop.
Him and James are buds. They go way back.
Mm-hmm. He's like,
Um,
he is the game. He is Warhammer 40K.
So that was one of those like stressful points. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like the stress was a lot of just like stuff I put on myself. I've really tried to work on that. Like, I have started enjoying like tournaments more, and also doing better at tournaments since kind of like giving up on needing to do better, or even wanting to do better. It's like go for enjoyable games, play the best you can, and then that's like how you get the most out of it. So yeah, I've been trying to kind of like take the stress out of myself because I just like I talked about this in our very first episode. Kind of like I find Warhammer to be like a controlled stress.
Yes.
Which I find is like good, like it's helpful in that way. But I try not to like let it get more than that.
It doesn't need to be.
No, this is supposed to be fun. You're not supposed to take it too seriously.
Nope. I'm sure like even like Grandmaster chess players, like yes, it's a game to them, but they're probably having fun at the same time because they can either try to outmaneuver their opponent or they find little tips and tricks, and that's what we're doing as well. There's a lot more room in Warhammer to have fun because like it is down to the dice. Like, yeah, you can hit on twos, but if you roll those ones, like...
No, just be a knight and reroll everything forever.
But reroll them into ones.
That becomes a lot less likely.
I've seen crazier things happen.
I have rolled crazier things than that, but weirdly, I've never gone against people rolling like that.
No, that's actually very true. It seems like the bad luck always happens on me and you.
Just singularly us. Sorry, everyone else who's listening.
Yeah. Everyone else is rolling hot.
Yeah. What's another story you want to tell before I so rudely interrupted you?
No, you never do. What kind of story would you like to hear?
I would like to hear the story of where Snurgle comes from.
Oh, it's quick. Okay, so I started painting and I fell in love with Snurgle, like the Nurglings. I thought they're the cutest flippin' things I've ever seen. And it reverted back.
What do you think the voice of a Nurgling sounds like?
Wee! Just happy, like just glee.
Fair.
You can't smile and not have a cute noise come out of your mouth.
I mean, you could. You literally can.
Not in my mind.
Not in your mind?
Because like,
I kind of sound they sounded almost like Donald Duck, like the like.
Oh, I like that too.
Because their like mouths are filled with like pus and ooze.
Love that. Yep.
They're like.
I will accept that. Like they're like half drowning.
In their own like filth.
Yeah. Love it. Because like to me, Snurgle never seemed ugly. Like I know a lot of people look at Snurgle and they're like, ew, gross, but to me I was just like, these are the cutest things. And what went through my mind was when you look at the models, they're happy. Like they have these smiles, and I always admired that in this grim, dark future, there was still these creatures that had smiles on their faces, and I love that. Like even when the world is in chaos, they're so happy. So I fell in love with Snurgle pretty hard. Jarrett would tell me stories about Snurgle and Mortarion, and I just more felt connected with them. And so I started to paint the models, and I wanted to show it off. And I started an Instagram account. Now, I wasn't one to be on the internet really. Like I had done stuff on Instagram for a cupcake shop that I worked for, but that was pretty much it. Like I barely do Facebook, or I didn't have Instagram really. And so my idea was I wanted to post pictures of these painted models, or even showcase blood gods models, or even I took pictures of other people's models, so I wanted to showcase the talent. And when it came to picking the name, it was within seconds. I was like, I remember just saying, I think I want to do something Nurgle, and I was like, Nurgle, Snurgle. And I had this big smile on my face, and I was like, if that can make me smile, I hope it can make other people smile. And I made it instantly. And yeah, it quickly caught, like it started to catch on with people, and they anytime I went into chat room or like Twitch chats or just talking to people, they'd be like, once in a while people would be like, man, I love that name, Nurgle Snurgle, like that's just a bomb name. I was like, what? So yeah, there wasn't much thought into it, but there's lots of feeling to it, and that's that.
Fair.
And I know BlushingNoiseMarine was made 5 minutes before we went live for the first episode.
I mean, any of you who have seen a picture of me will know that my face is also always red. So, but I also like the idea of like a bashful, like embarrassed noise marine.
Yeah,
like a noise marine that is like, oh yeah, I'm loud and excessive, but like I'm just like, I'm just a little nervous in crowds though.
Does he have like the loudest sound though? Like, is he charismatic once the music starts going, or is it always bashful?
He's always bashful.
You know who's actually always bashful is man, I'm not gonna what's his name? I'm not gonna remember. Slash from Guns N' Roses. He's actually a very bashful player.
There you go.
And that's why he wears his sunglasses and the hair in front of his face, is because he's shy.
I mean, I wasn't going for Guns N' Roses when I thought of it, but
no, but he would make a great noise marine in your army.
I don't know how to feel about that one.
You should have a band called the Blushing Noise Marines.
The Blushing Noise Marines? That'd be cool. I don't play cool instruments though.
Me neither. I guess we're ending it there. Right?
That's me. I play like the saxophone.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Which
I'm
is a very
I'm waiting for you to like just pick up the saxophone.
No. It's downstairs. I'm not just gonna like whip out a saxophone right now. But yeah.
Can you play me a Careless Whisper?
I can. Yes.
Oh.
Little George Michael. Yeah. I can do that.
Okay, next time we do a battle report, you gotta bring the sax.
And just Careless Whisper for you?
No, for all of us.
No, just for you. Just like, we'll leave mid-report and then just like, I'll play it and then come back in. Because I'm so bashful.
Yeah.
Can confirm. Bashful.
Would you play it with your back turned? Like, is that how bashful you are, or?
I'm not actually super bashful.
Oh.
It's also just like... I just like the idea of like the Blushing Noise Marine. I like the idea of the like,
it's super like cute.
They're like, like a little like Blushing Noise Marine that's just like, oh, I'm just a little nervous to play right now, and then like starts playing and like blows a Land Raider up.
And it's perfect. And then he goes, "Was that good, guys? You like it?
Did I do that?"
He's Urkel.
Like, yeah, I like that idea. It's like where all the like other noise marines are just like rocking out, screaming and yelling, and then just like the little like chippy noise marine just like,
yeah. Okay, how about this? What is Blushing Noise Marine gonna look like in 5 years?
I don't know. I mean, I hope we keep doing this.
Yes.
I think we can talk. I would like to do some more like battle report stuff. I don't know if I necessarily want to like run a battle report channel though. I would rather like support other people and like be a part of like, you know, like supporting other like growth and like and honestly, you know, if any of you listening like and you're somewhat nearby, like if we can help support kind of your like battle report channels, like I'd love to help out with that. And I really want to like more so focus on like kind of building a more like diverse and positive like community for 40K. Like one of the early conversations you and I had was kind of like, I think 40K right now is where D&D was like 10 years ago, where it was like kind of just on that like cusp of mainstream like, you know, knowledge and acceptance. And like I think in the next few years we're going to see a lot of like people that maybe never would have played Warhammer try Warhammer and then end up really liking it. And I think like both of us and like kind of the thought behind Chaos Divided was like giving a place for everyone to kind of feel like they belong in Warhammer and that there is a space for them. Because like I spent a lot of time not feeling like there was a place for me in like Warhammer and in the community, and it took a lot for me to like want to get back into the hobby and like get out and like get involved in the community. And I don't want it to be so hard for other people.
Yeah, I think you're realizing that you can make your own space. You don't have to integrate with the spaces that are already there. You're like, well, I see an opportunity. Let's make it, because that will give others opportunity to come in. And I'm seeing that cusp, and I'm just hoping that it can like tip into what we kind of want to see with Warhammer. We obviously don't want to see it digress and go into like a bad place where it can easily go. But I think definitely with the amount of people now in the hobby and the community constantly growing, it's now its own like organism. Like it's there's a heartthrob to it, and it's always fed. Like think of the hive mind it's always fed into. And
well, and I don't think it's like, it's not just Games Workshop like building the community. Like there's so much more to it now that it is like, and that's where I think like D&D got to, where like it wasn't really what Wizards did that built the community, it was what everyone was doing with it.
Exactly. And I feel like right now everybody can just start to realize that they can do that themselves. Like make what you want and see for this community. Like there's so many ideas in my head that I want to see happen, and I believe it will happen, and it can happen because there are so many ways to connect now. Like before it was just, yes, there was social media before, but nobody really, I don't want to say nobody, but I've watched this community grow in the last 4 years, and it's exploded from what it was before. Like especially on Instagram, there was only a few women who are really kind of in the wargaming space hobbying, and now it's an explosion, and it's beautiful, and there's so much opportunity that we can take. So yeah, I'm really excited, and I want people to take the fun of Warhammer and make it something. Like I'll share a story that like I would love for like a big Warhammer event where you just play a game, maybe a game or two, but it's for charity, and you can dress up in like almost like a masquerade or like a gala ball to do, like very like elegant. I would love to see that side of Warhammer where people can bring their spouses, have a dinner, have a game, show off some like models, and do like a charity event, or have like a women's only tournament and like a ladies' night tournament. And that's what I'm seeing in the future.
I think upper crust hammer is what you just described. The
what?
first part, upper crust hammer.
What does that mean?
Noble hammer.
Yeah, like I like
aristocrat's hammer.
Like when I was talking about being in a dress, like there's something to it when you dress up, when you like.
Do you have to move your miniatures with your pinky up though? Is that the?
No, you use those like sticks, like for like
that'd be
sticks?
so fun.
Or like the war sticks, like
yeah.
And like just to have like people pass hors d'oeuvres, and you're like, oh, that looks delicious. Let me just roll these sixes.
some fancy hammer.
But yeah, there's a power
no, you
to
have your butler roll your dice for you. Excuse you.
I'm not talking that high class. Come on.
You're like, Wellsworth, roll 4d6 for me, please.
And make sure it's the sixes. I need those to be sustained hits.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it just
fancy hammer.
Yeah, fancy hammer. Fancy hammer. I love it, and like I said, like it's open to the wives and the husbands that don't play, but it's for charity, and they can enjoy the festivities and the painting competitions. I don't know. That's what I see.
I feel like you're describing the Met Gala, but for Warhammer.
Exactly. You can have the paparazzi and
the red
James Workshop. Yeah. Can you imagine?
Only instead of celebrities, it's like, play on tabletop comes up and all decked out. And,
gold-plated dice. Okay, there is something like people do treat them like celebrities, right? Like people admire.
I mean, okay. Have you watched any of the recent episodes? Like, do you not want some of those Victor dice?
I haven't seen them. No.
They have Victor dice now. So if you go and play on and you win, you get Victor dice.
Oh, I love that.
So I'm like
I do. I did see those dice at the GT recently. Man, they look great. Like even just the regular dice, like there's just something about them. Like I love the matte color. I love the square edges. Like they just, they have some good chef's kiss to it.
Chef's kiss. But yeah, no, that would be fun. Mm-hmm. We'll make Nova Scotia a center for cultural excellence in Warhammer.
And people can fly out. Yeah.
There we go. Make it an event.
What would you see? Like, what would you want as an event?
I would love to see. Well, first off, like I guess in the like more like reasonable, like could actually happen, like sense, I would love to see like a big GT in Nova Scotia.
You're talking about major.
Yeah, like a major.
Yes.
I was trying to come up with a word, and all I was big. But a major here.
I 100% agree with that. And I would like mine's like a dream that probably will never happen. But yes, a major. I think we're closer to getting a major because we have the Atlantic provinces, and people will definitely travel for a major, and we have the capacity here for that. We have the World Trade Center that we could help hold it in. The interest is there for sure, and I'm sure there's lots of hands that could make that happen.
Yeah, I think it's just like getting everyone on board and like getting it all like organized and committed to. Like I don't think there's a lack of like physical capacity. I think it's just like everyone needs to be kind of like working towards that. And I feel like right now there isn't really like there's conventions, but there's not really anything like for wargaming specifically. And I feel like you could build up like, quite a bit. And I think that would help support like the broader community. Because again, if you have like a major and then you have your like regular GTs and then you have your regular RTTs, and it just gives people opportunities to like find themselves in the hobby. So like, you might not be somebody who's going to play at a major, but a major is going to attract a different caliber of like hobbyist for like a painting competition where it's like, you know what, you might not necessarily want to play, but you want to go and see beautiful miniatures. You want to submit your own miniatures for almost like, you know, not necessarily golden demon level, but like a similar like high level, like, you know, you want to go and appreciate other hobbyists. And then, you know, that gives an opportunity for people to meet and connect and share on like a different scale. Because like even a GT, like 40, 50 people isn't really enough to build out. Like you don't have attendees to a GT. Whereas like, you know, something like the LVO or the like Adepticon, like those, there's more than just the tournament going on.
Yeah. Well, there's so many branches you can connect with, like from the painting, like there's a painting community, but the people at the GT wouldn't know about them at all, but they're there. And I know here in Nova Scotia, I think there's I don't want to say market, but there is a space wanted for that. I think it's definitely there. There's a lot of talented people here as well. And then you could even connect with the cosplaying and the tutorials and just so many facets that can be connected. So when are we doing the Chaos Divided Open?
Ooh. I feel like that could happen. I feel like we got to start thinking about that maybe.
Yeah, that's years down the road though. Maybe.
We'll see. Depends on how we talked about a little bit last week. Like, you know, we're growing much faster than I ever expected to. And thank you to all of our listeners for that. Like, it's really, it's surprising because I think when we started this, it wasn't something we thought that was going to like catch on as fast as it did.
Well, like even from the first episode, we thought we were going to do a 10-15 minute trial.
I think it was like the third episode before I stopped asking you if we went too long.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it was like, yeah, definitely second and third was like, well, that went a little bit longer than expected, I guess. And then after that, it's like, yeah, we do an hour.
Sometimes an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Sometimes, if it's 2 hours, I usually break it in half.
Sometimes, yeah, we have to split it, yeah.
But no, truly, you know what? Actually, this has been a nice episode to kind of think back on. This is going to end up being our 15th episode, which I didn't. I don't know if I necessarily thought we would get
4
here.
months, almost. Yeah,
like it's and you've said it before that it never feels like work, and it doesn't. Never. It's a lot of fun, and I feel like we still, like we've talked about, we have like so many ideas for topics. We have so many. We have future guests planned. I feel like there's so much potential going forward that I really feel like, you know, we've only just begun.
So exciting.
It is exciting. I want to know when I can get a Bellacore Smellicore shirt, though.
How do you think it should be? Like, do you think he should be like Pewee? Like he should be
no.
Or like clothespin on the nose, like yes.
I feel like no. You do like you need to have like Bellacore completely unaware that he's Smellicore. With like a nurgling with like the clothespin over the nose. Just like in like the corner, just like this guy.
Wow, you're even smellier than me.
Right?
Yeah. In his duck voice.
Little duck. So yeah, I feel like I feel like that'd be fun. But no,
maybe while I'm at the mini wargaming, I'll get into I'll get into my Zen zone, and I'll draw.
Totally your itinerary.
You don't know that I don't sleep. I do sleep. Don't worry about that. Maybe I'll go through this journey of like at mini wargaming. I'll be so inspired, and I'll be like, "Sorry, Dave, I need to draw something."
Are we gonna do a live podcast with Dave while you're in mini wargaming?
I don't know.
That could be fun. The whole crew. Can you imagine?
Oh my god.
They must have recording equipment. That'd be crazy.
Yes, in Dave's office for sure. But then, like, yeah, of course they have recording equipment. But he has like a podcast type of geared up there, so yeah.
Mm-hmm. The episode's writing itself.
Oh. What would be your first question to ask Dave?
My first question for Dave, I would want to know how he just like contains all of that joy and happiness on like a day-to-day basis, because just like when he is emoting out, it is so strong that it has to just generally be sitting at like a 7 or 8.
Here's a story.
Because I feel like he emotes at an 11, which means like you can't fake that.
Mm-hmm. So when I was there was a filming crew at the time, and Blood God and I were asked, like, hey, do you want to be in the shot? We're like, sure. And then the director directed Dave to, he would come in and he'd be really excited, and then he'd like give us a hug, and like it would be like that moment, and we'd be like shocked, like, oh my god. And then so the director is like, no, sorry, Dave was like, so what level would you like? And the director's like, give me 8. And I was like, oh no. Oh, sorry, he did one shoot, and then the director's like, I need you to like step it up just a little bit more excitement. And then Dave's like, what do you want? 8. Oh, I was like, okay. And then he said the magic number, and Dave gave an 8. The director's like, okay, I need a 7.
I feel like 8 is probably stronger than 10. Like,
yeah. Dave heard 8, and he was like, he became Corn himself. He started smashing tables and grabbed an axe and went, Frah! No, that never happened, but.
But yeah, no, I would want to know about like kind of like what Warhammer is, because like when it's your job and you've like built this whole thing and everything, it's your job at that point. Like, how do you then still find like the joy and the love? Because like I feel like he does, and like that would be if I were to ask Committee Warhammer Dave one question, it would be like, or even any of them, because they've been doing that a long time. Like, how do you still love it?
Yeah, because like how many bosses, say chefs or any type of boss, gives it like that much excitement every single time?
Yeah, for like 15 years.
In the same place, with the same team. Well, not the same team, but like the same partner at least. Him and Matt. But him and Matt are like, they work so well together. Like that's such a perfect dynamic. And I think that's what Matt is he keeps Dave grounded. Because I'm sure, like, if it was up to Dave, it would just be like pure chaos all the time. Let's go. And Matt's like, come down. Come out.
What if we did a 700,000 point game?
What if we did 800? Oh my god. What if we did 1 million? Let's do 1 million.
Like, this game took 45 days to play.
I'm 88. It would definitely take 88 days.
So yeah, no. But no, I am really excited that you're heading out there, and maybe a little jealous. Maybe, hopefully, next time I'll hide in your carry-on. Let's be honest, I'm a checked bag. I'm not a small person.
Could any of us be a carry-on? Come on. You're my emotional support co-host.
I'll wear a vest.
Yes. Don't touch her. She's only trained for my stead.
Safe space.
Yeah.
But no, I hope you have a blast, and I hope you have a very happy. Do you have any other stories for the end of the Snurgly Storytime?
I have so many stories. I could literally go on forever, but I won't.
You're gonna hold them in? Are we gonna have to do this again?
Yes, and I think because when I come back, I'm gonna, like, we talked about this, like, now that we're growing, we need to grow with the audience as well. And we talked about having a Discord and having a merch. So when I come back, we'll be definitely building up, and a Patreon as well. So we'll be building up on that. You guys can stay tuned.
And we have some ideas for how to have some. Actually, our first bonus episode was taken so well, we might have to have
more bonuses.
More bonuses.
Yeah, and then
just a little spice.
And we talked about doing pre-shows as well and having chats with the audience, and that's what I want to do when I come back, is just connect more with who our audience is. Like, yes, we can see the numbers, but I want to get to know who's listening to us. And when we went to that GT, it was very like humbling to see the people who do listen to us, because they did come up to us and let us know that they love the podcast, and it's I think
that was really for me, was realizing that people, like, that they're people, but like seeing real people like connecting and enjoying and getting something out of, like one of the guys up here, it was his first GT, and he packed his snacks like you recommended, and like he took those tips to heart, and ended up having an absolute blast. And it was one of those, like, again, we started this off as like, hey, this will be kind of a fun thing, and I think it could, like, it's something that like maybe not a lot of people are doing, is having like just talking about Warhammer as like, I don't know,
as a thing, but it's
as a thing, but
it's more. It's an inspiration. It's a connection.
Yeah,
it's an energy.
But like, we're not like, we don't talk about, like, we're not a competitive Warhammer podcast, but we're also not a lore podcast, and we're not just a hobby podcast. Like, it's all like, I feel like we're a podcast about people who play Warhammer, not necessarily Warhammer itself. When we talk about, like, exploring the joy and creativity and positivity, like, it's the people. And yeah, I think we've seen already, like, that it's resonating, and I think we want to be able to share that more. So no, it really, like, it's really cool to see that this means something to other people as well. And I think we really want to, like, share more of that, because the two of us get to talk through this podcast, but sharing more with our listeners, I think, is something I definitely want. I'm not going to speak for you, but I definitely want to, like,
100%, yeah. And that's why I thought, like, I want to, like, set up the Discord so that we have that ability to connect with, because I understand, like, right now it's kind of like a little confusing. Like, do I DM Snurgle or BlushingNoiseMarine? There's a couple Discords you can kind of find us, but I would like to have, like, a universal hub area where we can set up polls. You guys can give us suggestions. We're also talking about doing pre-shows so that we can have instant chats with people, and they can share their thoughts and ideas. Because, like,
I think the plan is for those is YouTube Live. So if you subscribe to the Chaos Divided YouTube channel, then when we do start those, you'll know right away.
Yeah, for sure. And like, just to kind of touch on that, the audience isn't just a number. Like, it was great to put a face to a person. Like, they have two eyes, they got two ears, they have a body, and they can communicate with one another, and that's more than just a number. And seeing multiple numbers, and when you think about it in that context, it's like, oh, that's a lot of people.
Yeah, it is. It is a lot of people. So thank you all. And with that, I guess the only thing left to say is happy birthday again. Do you want me to sing for you?
Do you want to? No. You guys say no. Oh. No. You know what I want? I want a BlushingNoiseMarine to sing to me.
Oh god, I gotta get the character here. I gotta face away from the mic here for a second. Happy birthday, Snurgle.
Oh, thank you. What's your name?
Runs.
And that's where he asked his friends, do you think she liked it? It's not ask the source, but ask the fans.
Yeah.
But thank you to you, BlushingNoiseMarine. No, you, like Laura, you. It means a lot to me, and to anyone that wishes me a happy birthday, thank you.
Well, with that, I gotta pull up the closing script now. I've only said it 15 times at this point. Well, thank you all for joining us. So don't forget to subscribe to Chaos Divided, both here and on Instagram and YouTube at Chaos Divided 40K. And you can find us both on social media at Nurgle_Snurgle and at BlushingNoiseMarine. And it sounds like there's going to be a lot on Nurgle Snurgle's channel, so make sure you don't miss anything. Too cool for school.
Oh no. School is cool.
School. And until next time, bye-bye.
Ciao for now.